No, any questions? Councilman Merolla.
Into comments?
Comments?
Yep. So as you know, I've sat here for a long time, and I've never seen an agreement like this for any entity in Warwick. State law requires any entity that didn't pay, and any person, any taxpayer that is disputing their taxes. This is state law, this is not city law. To file an appeal immediately. This wasn't done for 5 years. Yet we're going to give this organization, because mistakes were made. Allegedly. Representations were relied on. I can't tell you how many detrimental reliance positions I've seen over the course of my legal career, but they're next to impossible to get approved. Statutes are what control. Written law is what controls. And what's most disturbing is that we absolutely have no evidence, written or verbal, that these people were made promises that were not kept by the city. Besides the fact there's never been an appeal made. Instead, what we're going to do is say certain taxpayers, based on their value to society, get certain privileges, while other taxpayers, maybe they fought in wars, maybe they're veterans, maybe they couldn't pay their bills, don't get those. So this organization is going to get a special tax agreement where they're going to pay a portion of what they owed now, and for the next 2 years, they're not going to pay any taxes at all. No taxes at all. Because their value to society is worth is more than somebody else's. It's really shocking. And I don't want to turn around and say to my constituents or anybody in the city that I can't help you get the same type of deal that these people got when they didn't pay their taxes, because you're not valued as much as they are, no matter what your sacrifices to the city or the country or anything else are. The argument that's being made is on some of their properties, a state law was overlooked by them and us, which begets the question, it's up to every taxpayer to bring this to the attention of the assessor. How many constituents I've had over the years that have come to me that said, I didn't know I was entitled to a senior exemption. Sorry, seniors, you don't get it, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. Veterans, I didn't know I was entitled to a veterans exemption. Sorry, you didn't appeal in time. I had some constituents come before me and say the square footage in your house was wrong. We admit it was wrong, but since you didn't carefully read your tax bill, you can't go back in time because you didn't appeal in a timely manner. The precedent that this case sets would open up Pandora's box every single time somebody comes and says that they didn't make a tax payment, but my deeds are better than somebody else's, so I should get this deal. Nobody disagrees that the House of Hope is a tremendous asset and a tremendous value to the City of Warwick. But that's not the question before us. The question before us is, we apply these laws equally to everyone, or we don't. Are we going to open this up to veterans? Are we going to open this up to seniors that didn't know, didn't apply it, asked, and maybe they were told by somebody at the counter, no, I don't think you can get that, and they walked away? Believe in the person at the counter. Because that's what we're saying happened here. They walked in, they talked to the tax assessor, tax collector, and they said, oh, there was a problem. Yeah, maybe we're going to correct that. What's interesting is our past tax collector, and by the way, I know Chris is in the audience and this wasn't his doing, so I'd like to point that out. There's no written evidence that he had this agreement with them. And shockingly, no one's even talked to him. Before we vote tonight, no one from the City of Warwick has picked up the phone and talked to him. Why? Because they wouldn't believe him. This is the same person for how many years he was here, was told he was doing a great job. All I heard was accolades, awards. So it bothers me greatly. Not that a majority of the council would vote to do something for the House of Hope, but in doing so, would ignore every other citizen and constituent that had similar problems, that didn't know, that didn't file appeals on time. And they don't get to pay no taxes for the next 2 years. The other issue that bothers me is that we've done a lot for the House of Hope. I don't know how many years, year after year after year, we give them money to run their operation. And obviously, there was mismanagement over there. Discussions in the paper about bankruptcy or receivership. Just because we vote on this tonight doesn't mean that they're going to be able to pay their bills and that things have miraculously changed overnight. So I don't think whether they can even meet this obligation because of what had happened in the past. This whole thing is unfortunate, but I don't think that two wrongs make a right. And what we're doing here is wrong. It's wrong because it's not evenly applied to every taxpayer in the City of Warwick. What we're saying tonight is, if you have a Superman on your chest and we'll determine whether you're Superman or not, then you get special tax exemptions. If we determine you're not, then you don't. And all the rest of the laws that the state apply, that apply to us, that are passed by the state, don't apply if we deem you a worthy individual or a worthy organization. Nobody's doubting House of Hope and their work, but I can't sit here and support legislation when I have constituents that are on fixed incomes, that are on Social Security, that haven't gotten raises in Social Security when they were frozen for years, that can't pay their bills, where their home goes up for tax sale, who've lived in this city 50, 60 years, and look them in the eye and say, I won't do it for you, but I'll do it for them. Thank you.